Welcome to the David Pakman Show. My name is Brittany Page from The Page Perspective, which you can find here on YouTube. I'm back for another day of guest hosting for David while he is on a holiday break. Yesterday was a ton of fun, a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. And I'm very much looking forward to getting through all of this big news with you all today. So getting right into it, starting with some heavy news, specifically the recent news that President Joe Biden directed airstrikes against Iranian-backed groups after 3 United States troops were wounded in an early attack Monday morning on an airbase in northern Iraq. One service member was critically injured in this attack. Reading from CBS News, quote, "In response, Mr. Biden, after being briefed and holding a call with Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin and his national security team, ordered retaliatory strikes on 3 locations utilized by Kataib Hezbollah and affiliated groups focused specifically on unmanned aerial drone activities," National Security Council spokesperson Adrienne Watson said in a statement. According to U.S. Central Command, the retaliatory strikes on the 3 sites, all located in Iraq, were conducted at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time and, quote, likely killed a number of Kataib Hezbollah militants. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin also released a statement in the aftermath of the response to this attack, quote, "And let me be clear, the president and I will not hesitate to take necessary action to defend the United States, our troops, and our interests. There is no higher priority. While we do not seek to escalate conflict in the region, we are committed and fully prepared to take further necessary measures to protect our people and our facilities," end quote. So taking a step back just a moment to try to put this all into perspective, since the October 7th attack by Hamas on Israel, the Pentagon has taken several actions to contain the war in Gaza in order to prevent escalating conflict in the region. And according to reporting from USA Today, quote, "A key concern has been militant groups backed by Iran that operate in Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, and Houthi rebels it backs in Yemen. Militants in Syria and Iraq have intensified their rocket attacks on bases with U.S. troops. Since October 7th, there have been about 80 such attacks, and the Pentagon has launched airstrikes on sites that store and fire rockets. In one case, an Air Force AC-130 gunship responded to an ongoing attack by firing on militants. In addition, the Pentagon has assembled a coalition to defense shipping in the Red Sea after several drone attacks on commercial vessels by Houthi rebels. And so again, you know all roads lead to Iran when it comes to sponsoring these attacks," said Air Force One-Star General Pat Ryder, the Pentagon press secretary. So Iran has continued to deny involvements in various attacks here, including numerous attacks on those commercial vessels you just heard mentioned in the Red Sea. On November 15th, the Iranian foreign minister gave an interview to CBS News and said, quote, "We really didn't want this crisis to expand," talking about the Israel-Hamas war. But the Iranian foreign minister continued, quote, "But the U.S. has been intensifying the war in Gaza by throwing its support behind Israel," end quote. Of course, it's important to note here that we've seen Iran lie before, so it's not surprising that they would be lying again. They see a moment of destabilization, both regionally and globally, and they're contributing to the chaos. And listen, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to have the answers. I do not know how to solve this conflict, but any person can see that this continues to be a dangerous and deadly mess. We know that the October 7th attack by Hamas was horrific and disgusting, that Hamas is a vile terrorist group. We also know that estimates show that more than 20,000 people have been killed in Gaza in 10 weeks, roughly 1% of the population. Estimates show about 70% of those deaths are women and children. Estimates are that 50,000 people have been wounded. Though people might hear those numbers and say that they can't be trusted because they come from the Gaza's Ministry of Health, it's important to note on that international aid groups don't doubt those numbers and generally agree with them. We're also seeing this for ourselves with our own eyes, the death and destruction. I've watched, countless news packages from reporters on the ground that have left me in tears. Babies being fished from rubble, sometimes alive, sometimes not, sometimes missing limbs, sometimes not. We see the latest headline that Israeli forces bombarded refugee camps on Tuesday in central Gaza, telling residents to evacuate. Their areas for refuge growing smaller. Stories noting that 9 out of 10 of Gaza's 36 hospitals are still operational, only 9 of 36. Not well stocked with necessary supplies or equipment. They're crowded, they're overcrowded. This has all led to international pressure for a ceasefire, pressure to reduce civilian casualties, all while Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the fight isn't close to finished. It feels heavy. And I know this is a heavy topic to talk about, but it's important to stay connected to the stories that I think feel overwhelming and painful. It's important not to check out on this stuff, even if it leads to an uncomfortable place because we don't have certainty or we don't feel like we have the answers or we don't feel like we have solutions. Anywhere there is human suffering, we should care about it and we should join with those who are trying to stop it.